like Spokane. Because it's like a big city sketchy, but still got that small town vibe at the same time. Like, best example I got of this is one night, my neighbor got arrested because he stabbed a guy at McDonald's. Yeah. The next day at work, my boss came up to me like, hey, Greg, you're never gonna believe this, but my neighbor got stabbed at McDonald's last night. I was like, what? No shit. You're never gonna believe this. I think my neighbor stabbed your neighbor, yo. How horrible and wholesome is that at the same time? That's Spokane in a nutshell, man. Yeah, every time I'm there, I see some new shit. Last time I was there, I saw some guy, standing on the street with a sign, asking for money but not getting anything. In the middle of this, like, another guy came up to him, they started talking, and then the first guy gave the sign to the second guy, and then the first guy walked away. I was like, what the? I just watched a homeless shift change? What the fuck? Here, man. Who's writing that schedule? They can't be like trustworthy, yo. What if you miss too many shifts? Like, do they fire you for being homeless? Like, how the fuck? Had so many questions, but then the light turned green, I had to take off, so. Yeah. Like Alvin said, I live in the west side now, Seattle. Yeah. It's all right. You don't have to do that. It's pretty progressive over there. It's like a little too progressive, though. It's a little weird. Like, someone called me a person of color once, like a couple years ago, when I was got in a fight with him. I was like, what the fuck did you just say? He called me a colored person? He goes, no, man, I said person of color. That's the politically correct way to say that. And I was like, oh, shit, I just thought you switched the words around, so. Sorry, I was confused, bro. Didn't mean to punch you there, man. Stupid shit. Man, it's real progressive. So I was like a little confused when I experienced some racism there the other day. Yeah, don't feel bad though, I was the racist one. Didn't make any sense either, because I was being like racist against myself. I was standing in line at Starbucks, and I was behind this white lady. And I was a little close to her, and I was like, come on, Greg, you should back up. You're an aggressive looking black guy. You kind of look like Suge Knight wanted a mini-me, man. Trying to mess up her whole day? It's like, wait a second, man, what the hell did you just say to yourself, man? It's 2020, man. If she has a problem, that's on her. Besides, you're not even gonna hurt this lady. Probably. Of course, I'm saying all this shit out loud, so now she is freaking out. Yeah. I just knocked over some coffee creamer and left. I don't know what else to do. Yeah. Not from Washington originally. I'm actually from Detroit. Yeah, one person. That's cool. Don't cheer. I'm lying. Actually, I'm actually from Colorado. Yeah. I'm born in Colorado Springs, but I lived in a small town called Penrose. Yeah. Had 731 people. One black dude. Yeah. Cool thing was they didn't know I was black until I was like 4 years old. That's when my afro started growing in. My white mom was like, oh shit, good thing I named him Greg, huh? Because he could have been Mexican or a Thai guy. Just wanted to make sure to keep it neutral, you know? I know that sounds messed up, like I'm calling my mom a hoe. I'm not saying that, right? My mom's not a hoe. She just worked in a bigger city, you know, so she had more options. Like, no one's ever been to Baskin Robbins like, yo, let me get that vanilla. No, that doesn't happen. We're gonna try different flavors. That's what she did. Here I am. She actually told me who my dad was 2 years ago. I'm 37, so. She's like, Greg, you're 35. I think you're old enough to hear this. I was like, oh, you think? I'm like divorced, got a mortgage and shit? She's like, yeah, you're right. Well, I was embarrassed, but to tell you the truth, your dad was actually just a stripper I met at Red Lobster. On a New Year's Eve party. I was like, are you fucking serious, man? Are you telling me what, for like cocaine and cheddar biscuits, I wouldn't even be here right now? Do you know how hard that is to swallow? Unlike those cheddar biscuits, right? It's cool. It's like I said, small town, we had one school. The school was called Penrose Middle School. We had all the grades from kindergarten through 8th grade, and then we just shipped the high schoolers off to a different town because we were too small. And so we had the one school, PMS Middle School, and our mascot was the Beavers. So right outside the school, it's like, welcome to Penrose, home of the PMS Beavers. The proud Beavers. Yeah. We got our asses kicked in every sport too, because like I said earlier, I was the only black guy. And I know you can tell by looking at me, like, I know this is Coeur d'Alene, but you know, like, I'm not that great of a black guy. Like, kind of short, bald, I've been sunburned twice. Last year, it was a rough August, you know. Actually tore my ACL watching people play basketball once at Hoop Fest. Yeah, ball bounced when I moved to get out of the way, knee just popped. I was like, oh! And I was like, oh my God. Good thing he's not playing, man. I bet he sucks. Yeah, it's crazy, man, my whole life. Then experienced a lot of racism in this small town, which is surprising. It's like a couple moments that I could like really remember. One time I was like leaving this convenience store, and this kid rolled up to me on his bike. And he looks at me and he's like, "Go back to Africa, Greg, we're sick of you." And then he just took off, and I was like, okay, Bobby Faye, I'll try, man, but probably gonna be in English tomorrow, dog. I don't know. I don't know if you know about Africa, man. That's far away. That's an expensive trip. My mom's a waitress at Red Lobster. She can't afford that shit.